You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
A couple things in Huntsville before we get out of here today. I do want to mention on Monday, the 19th, City Councilman District 4 Bill Kling is holding some open office hours at the downtown library. Shout out to Councilman Kling for actually being willing to engage and meet with constituents. Thursday, the 22nd, is the next Huntsville City Council meeting. You've heard us talk about the long fight for criminal justice reform in Huntsville. And on that note, our friends, the Citizens Coalition for Justice Reform, has an active email campaign targeting the city council and the mayor of Huntsville. If you haven't followed that, if you haven't submitted your email, go ahead and do that to support their campaign. Even if you don't live in Huntsville, if you work or shop in Huntsville, or if you're one of our online listeners, maybe you're in California or New York or wherever you're listening from, fact is, by listening to this show, you've heard some of the pretty shameful actions of the city of Huntsville's government, and it might not hurt for them to hear from you, too. Truthfully, they care about out-of-towners more than the people who live there anyway. Do want to remind folks that the State Board of Education did meet this week. As I mentioned earlier in a previous episode, they were going to talk about critical race theory, and it was about as dumb as you could expect. AL.com did put out an article summarizing some of that discussion, and the United Women of Color is having a Unity Festival on August 22nd in Huntsville at Campus 805. They just put that out this week. It's going to be a family-friendly event, so if you're looking for something to do with the kids, you want to support a good cause and some good activists, put that on your calendar. And finally, I do want to remind everyone that budget hearings will be coming up very soon in your local governments and school boards, and there's been tens of millions of dollars flowing into these various entities in the federal stimulus budget funds. So if you're not sure how your local school board, county commission, or city council is spending this influx of federal money, that's a good thing to ask questions about, and that's a good time to maybe go to a council meeting, go to a school board meeting, ask them what they're doing with all this new federal money.
What were some of the highlights that you told me? There was at least one good thing that they were doing.
Yeah, Huntsville City Schools is actually planning on using some of that funding to set up a training academy for employees, both their teachers and actual support staff, so that they can actually get training and be paid for it, which for those of you who don't work in education, that's kind of unusual. Oftentimes you're expected to go to training and professional development on your own dime, on your own time. So shout out to Huntsville City Schools for actually coming up with a positive idea. I guess even a broken clock is right twice a day. So that's an example of how you could use that money in a positive direction. But I think it's going to take some citizen oversight and accountability to make sure it's used for the right reasons.
Right. That's exactly right, Adam, and that is a fantastic place to leave it. You've been listening to the Valley Labor Report, and if you want to support the show and look cool while you're doing it, go to thevalleylaborreport.org and get one of our fantastic union-made hats. They are only $35, and that includes shipping. There are only 15 of them left, so make sure you get one while they last. We'll see you next week. If you want to see what we are up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/The Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. And if you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, you can search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments and release them throughout the week. We do upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So to see if we are on your listening platform of choice, you can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. We've got a website where you can buy our hats and our stickers. Our hats are almost gone, folks. We've only got 15 left. 15 hats left. If you want to get one of those, make sure you go to our website and get you one. That is thevalleylaborreport.org. They are $35. Shipping is included for a good American union-made hat. And finally, if you appreciate our work and you want to help us stay on the air, then consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/thevalleylaborreport.